Hey everybody, just I was going to wait to try and start this right on time, but I think we have everyone we're going to get, unless someone's going to be very fashionably late. So I'll just get started then, if there are no objections. Yay? Nay? Yay? Okay. Hi everybody, welcome to the 2019, or 2022. Our group, by the way, our group chat still says 2019 on it, because that's the last time we did this. Or only it was one or two times. Either way, my name is Ted Visser. One of my qualifications for being here, our original moderator had a family emergency and said, "You're in." I was going to be one of the panelists. So those are my qualifications for being moderator. I was the chairman of Pacific PonyCon 2016 and 2017 for some fandom horse fame cred right there. That's my background, but I'm here to talk to our panelists and talk about the Brony fandom as it stands right now. What with the new generation coming out and other new media coming and the new stuff after the end of G4 Mile Pump. So thanks everybody for coming. I'll start with intros. I'll let our guests introduce themselves. I have some questions and I'm going to very loosely follow the script. I hope that's okay with everybody. So I'm going to combine a couple of these. Okay. So for each of our panelists, just go ahead and say who you are and then describe yourself in one word and talk about what you do in the fandom or have done in the fandom, and we can even go with what drew you to My Little Pony. Sylvia, you're up.
Hello everyone, my name is Sylvia. I am here as I guess you could say sort of like a little representative for the San Diego Brony group, as well as for the Tijuana Brony group in Mexico. What was the next question?
Describe yourself in one word. Gotta pick just one.
I guess to describe myself in one word, I guess I could be, I don't know, I guess a little overzealous sometimes.
Overzealous, okay, that's a good one. 25-cent word. No, that's one word, it's a compound word.
What was the next part?
Anyway, since that was obviously too much, we'll come back to it. All right, moving on down.
There we go. That was
that's
the last
close.
question.
Thank you.
Oh, microphone. Okay, perfect. What drew me to the fandom, I guess, is just how friendly everybody was. I first got into My Little Pony back in 2000 and I want to say 15, and then I was quite upset when in 2016 I heard that there was a PonyCon here in San Diego, and I didn't go. And I was quite upset about that. So I made sure to go in 2017 where I volunteered and I helped this great man over here kind of just helped out with that con. So I ended up really falling in love with the fandom right there in that moment.
Thanks, Phil.
Hello, everybody. I haven't said that in a long time. My name is Andy Reyes, but in the fandom I'm known as FableCharm. I'm here to represent BABScon, the Bay Area Brony Spectacular. We are in the San Francisco Bay Area, and the next time we throw it is going to be April 7th through 9th, 2023. Tickets are on sale now. For me, the one word that I use to describe myself is storytelling. I love telling stories, and something that drew me to My Little Pony was like literally in the very first episode when Twilight Sparkle described the spark. I guess it's the second episode, back in my pony, episode 2. When she described the spark of friendship, that just really resonated with me, and I was like, oh my god, this is a show that I need to like continue watching. And what sort of kept me in the fandom is. I got involved with BABScon. It started out just bagging gifts for our musicians. I was like, this is a bagger, I can give them the gifts. So I started from there, and then I became, after a few years, the chair of the convention. So that's what kind of kept me in the community, I know, right? The community, and also just the show continuing and like watching it every week whenever it's airing. It's being with friends. That's what's kept me here.
All right, thank you. Andres.
Okay, my name is Andres Casallas, and the fandom is I'm known as ChiptuneMist. I have been a Brony since late 2017, but right now, like, I don't do anything. Kind of, I have a lot of projects from my own, but I'm basically a musician, so in the future I would consider that working a little bit with the fandom. Basically, one word to describe myself, humble. I would say humble. And that kind of resonates with me from the beginning when I was watching the show. And, oh, Fluttershy, she's very humble, very quiet. And, but actually, by maybe a Brony or maybe like this TV show is the songs. That's the main thing, the songs. I was just catch with the songs. I think then it is blends all these musical styles amazingly, and then it blends it very well with the team, the soul of the show. There is another question?
We'll come back to it. There's lots of questions. And our last guest for now.
Hi, I'm Hannah King, or Button in the fandom. I'm here representing Everfree Northwest, which is actually next month in Seattle. If anybody hasn't heard of us yet, you should come get a flyer from me later. One word to describe myself is probably nervous-sighted because I'm fun, but I also have anxiety. How I got in the fandom, I'm sure that a lot of people can relate. You came for the show and you stayed for the people, right? Right? Community, yeah, that's why I'm here. I started volunteering at cons. I was on game dev projects. I just kind of stuck around and met more and more people.
Great. Okay, so this next question always causes some argument, and so polite argument is definitely allowed. Best pony, go. It's Twilight for me.
Rarity. Fluttershy, but also rarity.
The Princess of Muffins.
Muffin.
Princess Dorothy.
Sakura.
Oh, Sakura. Oh, very nice. Can you rhyme?
No. That's why she's such an inspiration.
There we go. Okay, back to my questions here. That being said, what do you think of the next generation? I guess specifically the movie in this case. I'll go last. Discussions allowed.
I thought the last movie was pretty good. I thought it was pretty interesting. I liked it so far. I mean, I guess that's about it. I mean, when I saw this new fifth generation movie, I didn't really think much of it. I took it in as what it was, which was a movie, like a movie for kids. Just like how I ended up falling in love with My Little Pony. It was the storytelling was very good. The characters were very inviting. I thought that the entire movie in general was just very good. It made me laugh a few times. It did end up kind of make me also have a few flashbacks to Generation 4. And I thought, in general, it was really good. I don't really know what else I would say about the rest of it, though. I haven't actually gone into the rest of the stuff past the movie. What is it, with like the YouTube videos and the little Netflix series? I haven't actually gotten into that stuff yet. But so far, I mean, the movie got me going, okay, I want to watch the rest of the stuff. But again, I haven't actually seen any of that stuff yet. I don't know about you guys.
So I've seen everything / most of it. The only thing I've sort of been watching from afar is the comics, but I know that's a future question we'll get into later.
Yeah.
But just in case people who might be like slightly unfamiliar, the Bronies sort of came from there's always been fans of My Little Pony, but like specifically like the Brony fandom as we know it today spawned a lot from like Generation 4, and so now there's a transition between Gen 4 and Gen 5. And the new generation is literally called like My Little Pony New Generation. So when we say new generation, that's what we mean is the next set of characters, of stories. Luckily, as they showed in the movie that's on Netflix, It's still tied, it's literally the same universe as Gen 4, but it's in the future, not I would say distant future, but like it's in the future, where they still talk about the old characters. They're kind of like mythologized. And I think that's a really great way to sort of bring the Gen 4 Bronies into the new generation, but also keep itself distinct for the new fans that come in, for the kids that come in, and even for the new adult fans that come in that are like, oh, what's this My Little Pony show? I think the movie itself is really good with lots of great songs in particular. Maybe we can talk about those. But I think that the movie was like the peak, but then the other forms of media, maybe they're doing okay, but I'm looking forward to when the series comes out. So we'll see what happens then.
New Generation, I love that movie. So I think it's better than the G4 movie in the terms of sectional songs. There are some things that I would consider is better than the G4 movie. I think it was 2017, so it has been a while, but I think the G5 movie, the New Generation, David Ingram, he had good standards for G4. The people who made the songs for the G5 movie, they keep up that potential. I think the songwriter, he makes songs for musicals, so it makes a lot of sense, and it blends very well for his style. But I think the score that David Ingram made for G4 is better than the score for G5. Because it was just beautiful. The G4 movie score was amazing. Also, I saw interviews with the character designer Imalo and the director Jose, the G5 movie. You can see the passion they guys put into the movie. So yeah, I think it's a good blend to the future from G4, but keeping up with that very high standard. And I would say this is like the luxury item G5. We will talk a little more after this about the other classifications.
It's that feature film budget. All right.
A New Generation, the movie was fantastic. I think there's so many like callbacks. Like if you're a regular congoer and you hear people chanting mob, mob, like you hear all of these callbacks to G5 already that it's so recognizable. I kind of want to ask the audience, how many of you guys have seen the G5 movie already? Nice. How many of you guys have seen the YouTube series? Some of it or all of it? Okay, so like less. I have to be honest, I haven't watched it yet, but I know that it looks really fast-paced and cute. It looks like all of the episodes are really short. Do you guys like it? Yeah. Would you recommend watching it? I think I need to watch it. I am excited to see the Netflix series come out. I think we have a ton to look forward to with the New Generation. I know some people are apprehensive because, we don't like change, but there's a lot of great characters and a lot of lore that we're going to get to explore, and I think that they're going to do a good job with it.
Great, thank you. So we had a surprise last-second guest here, so I'm going to let him introduce himself real quick, and then we'll keep going.
Hey everyone, my name's SteamTank, and I'm representing the Railroad Bronies. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Yeah, so my own personal opinion on G5, since I guess I technically am panelist still too, but my own personal opinion on that, right? So I will say that I think that some of the series and stuff are to be actually kind of have a high standard to live up to, just because of the movie budget, right? Clearly they poured a lot of money and some really good voice talent and writing into that story, and they did a great job, but it's going to be hard to live up to. I haven't seen the YouTube series yet either, so I guess I'm going to have to do that to speak intelligently about it. But and the other thing I would say is, if you drink alcohol, the movie is actually a lot of fun at a bar. The second time I watched it, and everyone there was looking at me like I had 3 heads, was at my local American Legion post with their very strong drink course. It was excellent. So anyway, next thing we have on here. Let's see. Make your mark and tell your tale. What do you guys think? I'll start at that end this time, to be fair.
Hi again. Like I said, I have not seen Make Your Mark, I will be honest. But I did watch Tell Your Tale, and that one, like you said, the budget was a lot different versus the like major motion picture, but it was still cute. I don't have a ton of comments, I only watched it once. But I did see it.
It's all right. Andres, what do you think?
It's about the Make Your Mark or Take Your Tale.
Whichever. Both.
So, Make Your Mark, it feels like a Bethesda game, if you guys know that. It's like Rush, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you can hear me? So, the Make Your Mark, it feels like a Bethesda game, if you guys understand that. It's a Rush. I think it's they are new voice actors, but I think they are keeping up to the standards. Maybe they are given limited time or limited budget in all of the works. If I would say Tell Your Tale is the budget version and the G5 is the luxury item, this is more of the middle ground, I would say. But I really like they developing more the other characters like Sid, like Hitch, Pete. The songs are okay, they could be better, but the annoying part is the animation errors, especially the lip syncing, is not very, very pleasant to look at that. Also, Sonny looks like she's staying too much under the sun. For some reason, it's very dark. The problem with the eye sockets. A lot of people complain about those ones. But I would say I liked it. It was very cute. That's about making fun about Tell Your Tale, basically. I was very afraid of that one because it's more, I think it's more like the Hasbro vision of the G4 when they tried to go to make YouTube shorts. But actually, they were shorts that had music that was good. I remember some of the Questia girls shorts, they fantastic music, especially this one with Sunset. I love it. But this one, I don't see the songs being very good. It feels very rushed, and I don't really like the animation too much, especially the legs. But still, I enjoy it's just I take it as a break from the main thing. So it's like something different.
Thanks.
I totally agree. I didn't think about that until you said that, where the shorts, little YouTube shorts of the new generation are very much like the Equestria Girl shorts, in that, like, they're just small, little bite-sized things, but I think they have the potential to do great things in terms of world building, but also music. Sunset Shimmer song, My Past Is Not Today. That blew me away when I saw it. I also like Life is a Runway, it's a rarity. But there's, I think, episode 3 or 4 of the YouTube series where they introduce the main Melody Boutique. They have literally the best song in the whole new generation. It is great. I literally was singing that all day today because I watched it for the preparation of this panel. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm singing it all day. Another thing that I really like about the short series is that it actually, I didn't know this, so I kind of spoiled myself. It links up with the Tell Your Tale short movie, like the shorter movie, the 45-minute one, because they reference events that happen in the movie in later episodes. So it's actually, they're doing a good job of keeping it consistent in terms of the timeline. So that is a surprise to me, where it could just be like, oh, little 5-minute shorts, they do little adventures, but they're actually trying their hardest to keep a consistent timeline. So there is actually an order to what you should be watching. Episodes 1 through 10 of the YouTube shorts, and then the movie, and then after that, because they basically spoil the movie for you in episode 11. So, spoiler. And then also, one last thing, characters. I'm shipping really hard Hitch and Zip. They're like the sheriff and the detective, and I'm just like, oh wow, there's some chemistry there. And I don't know if they're doing it intentionally, but they're together. Like the 45-minute movie, Tell Your Tale, it's basically it's their movie. It's Zip's movie with like side and hitch. So yeah, I ship it.
Nice.
Well, now I want to watch it. I'm gonna go home and watch it. But I unfortunately I have no comment on that because just like at the end of the table, I haven't seen any of that stuff just yet. But again, like I want to though, I just haven't gotten the opportunity to actually jump back on it yet. And to be honest, well, we're going to be answering that question a little later, so we'll hold off on it a bit.
It's all right. We can meander the conversation a little bit.
Okay. Well,
Trying to state the fandom type stuff.
Yeah, the fandom.
Yeah, I will save that one. That's probably an argument.
So, when it comes down at least to like a whole lot of like the fandom type stuff, or not so much the fandom, but at least like the My Little Pony stuff, I haven't actually gotten like yeah, the movie was good, and don't get me wrong, like again, like I do also want to go back and watch some of that stuff, but unfortunately it hasn't, like nothing's actually popped out yet where it brings me into it, where like back then for Generation 4 there was always so many things. There was Twitter and Facebook, and there was Equestria Daily that was like always constantly like updating like everything I could go and watch, and people commenting and writing stuff on YouTube, you know, and all that stuff. So maybe it's just because I haven't really been reeled into this stuff yet that I haven't necessarily like just gone into watching it just yet. So I admit I've kind of like fallen a little bit out of the fandom, but I know that once it's been a while since I've been around my brony crew, so I'm hoping that maybe
We invite you to every meetup.
I don't care, but I'm hoping that maybe today, like based on whatever you guys say, I'll be able to go home and just go to bed and start getting on my phone and start catching up on those episodes.
Yeah, thanks, Sylvia. For those who were wondering what she's referencing, the SoCal Bronies, which is like the local meetup group, we'll just be meeting up to chat right outside the doors here after the end of this panel. Will?
Well, I kind of don't have much to say about the Tell Your Tale episode because I haven't seen it. And I didn't have time to do my homework yet. So I apologize.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I have not seen them yet either, so full disclosure. All right, last directly media related, and then we'll talk about culture stuff. The comics. We'll start with Will this time. Have you seen the new comics?
I've seen the comics.
The new ones?
The new ones. I've seen bits and pieces, just screen caps. I haven't read them yet.
Okay.
So when it comes to me and the comics, to be honest, I haven't read a single one of them. But I have like 3 boxes at home full of just the comic books because I like the covers. So I like the covers and that's why I buy them. But unfortunately, I don't know anything about the story about the comics. I know that technically Generation 4, at the end of the TV show, they still continued on telling the story in the comic books. And again, I also want to jump on that, but I just haven't. But again, like I was actually eyeing his comic book right now, and now I want it. Now I just want to go out to the floor and get it somewhere. Like again, I just really like the covers to the My Little Pony comic books, and even though I don't read them, I still get them. I love them. I like having them there, and then I like displaying them in my room. And I love them. Doesn't matter.
Something I was going to say, it's gone. Go, man.
I wanna let Andres go first.
Oh yeah, that was it. Actually, I was going to take a poll.
But because he's actually like physically read them, I think you should go first.
Oh, before we do that, real quick, just again a show of hands. Who has read the G5 comics? Got about.
We're about to.
A little less than half. Who has read the G4 comics? Okay, cool. Just get an idea.
I guarantee you, by the end of this panel, you will want to read the comics right between what we're going to talk about.
So I have been like following these comics since I became a brony. So I really like what they're doing here. I love the artwork. And so this is more like actually I hope this can be canon because it's amazing. I don't want to spoil anything, but basically it complements the world. Like for example, what they did in comics in 2018 for the Pillars of Family. They also make stories in the comic that complement with the show. They do it the same here, so I'm sure nobody needs to, nobody will want to miss the things that are here because it complements very well with what is happening in the main show. And it's very funny. I really like it. So I just read number 1 for now. I'm waiting for my copy for number 2. But anyway, things get very interesting. I have seen. So other things about this one. Let me see. I hope it can be canonical because sometimes people say the comics are not canon because I really like this side story.
Bud?
I think.
I think you want to go last? Or do you want to
No,
go?
I was just going to go after.
Oh, okay. All right, sure.
Unless you want to go. No. All right, Bronies. I know what you guys want. You want lore. You want to know how is the world of Gen 5 connected to Gen 4? Who or what created the crystals that are like sealing up the pony's magic? Literally, you get an answer to that in comic number 2. What dark forces from Equestria's past could still be lingering in Equestria? You literally find out in comic number 2.
Chaotic forces.
It is, yeah, chaotic forces even. Everything that I kind of watch the show for when it comes to like lore and character development and like how do things mesh together with the world that I knew, the comics are doing it. Like the things that I kind of want new generation to be, that's the comics. Tell Your Tale, the movie, the longer movie, the second movie, it is fine in terms of like, it told a story, but it didn't give me any like deep lore. It didn't really give me like intense character conflict. The comics are what's doing that. The way that I'm personally reading the comics right now is I'm watching a YouTube video by a Brony YouTuber named Doc Anubis. He does like reviews of the comics and stuff, and he also kind of like goes through them. So I'm not reading them directly. I'm still like buying them on Comixology, but I basically like watch as it happens so that I'm not just like out of the know. But he does a great job of describing what happens, and he shows like little images and things like that. So it's been fun. It's been a fun ride, like getting to sort of read along with them. Again, that YouTube channel is Doc Anubis, so like Doc like Doctor Who, Anubis like the Egyptian god. So that's how I've been reading it. But obviously, pick up the comic from your local retailer and read it, or on Comixology. But if you don't have time for that, YouTube is also a great place, and that's how I've been enjoying the comic. So I hope you guys enjoy it too, because it is like, wow, it's 2 comics in, and I'm hooked. I'm like gonna buy the whole rest of it. It's gonna be great.
Well, now I'm convinced. Doesn't really take long for me to get struck back in.
A lore.
Who's writing? Who's the author of it?
Breckle? Who's on the movie? Let me see the company. Bronfman, Memberson, and Breckle. So Breckle and Memberson are also, the writers and artists of some of the previous comics as well. Okay. So it's a return to, not a return to form, but it's like things are as you want them to be. Continuity. There you go. Cool. For all the hypocrites out there.
All right, Glenn.
I'm gonna sound a little bit like a parrot because I was gonna say the same thing about the lore within the comics. The same with G4, how they continued and they went deeper, and the same thing with anime and manga. You know, the anime finishes, but there's so much more in the manga. You get the same feel within the My Little Pony comics. So if you ever feel like, oh, the show's over, I didn't get enough, read the comic seriously. Delightful.
Great. Yeah, I have not read the G5 comics yet, but you guys may have just sold them to me. Because I read the G4 comics and they were quite good, and some of them did get deep into the lore, like how did Luna become Nightmare Moon and all that sort of stuff. Those were some of the better comic issues, so I'll have to check it out. So the next thing I'm going to get into here is, and again, discussions encouraged if you guys want to go back and forth, I won't stop you, is the culture question, right? So, you know, state of the fandom. That always gets thrown out, you know, there were screams that the fandom was dying in 2012 when the show came out in 2010. Obviously we're still here, because we're sitting on a panel in front of you, and there's a good number of people in the audience who I think fall into the category of Brony, right? Yeah. That is still going, right? So in the fandom, though, the culture has changed, I think. I am in the weird position where I was actually out of, not even in the United States for a little while. So right before the pandemic hit, so I feel like I had a 3-year gap in Brony fandom. Like I haven't been to a convention since like 2019. Really 2018 even, right? So, but I mean, I still kept what's going on. So I'm actually interested to hear how you guys feel, because you guys have been in the thick of it, especially some of the convention organizers who've been continuing to run conventions since, or people who've been organizing meetups and stuff. Let's go with Button this time. And then take it away, guys.
Big question. I could probably talk on the state of the fandom for a really long time, but I'll try to kind of keep my thoughts concise. I think that when everything exploded in like 2012, 2013, and the Brony fandom was like getting bigger and bigger and bigger, there was a lot of like that new toy smell, you know, like everybody was like really excited to have this community, and they all latched on, and that's how we were able to expand so rapidly. And over the years, that like, I don't want to say bad, but the sparkle faded a little bit for some people. So there's some people who are still in the fandom but maybe haven't seen the last like 4 seasons of Generation 4, or there's people who watched the rest of it but never went to another convention. There's people who just, their investments went in different directions. You know, they started exploring new animations, and they didn't have only Tony to focus on. They just kind of expanded. So I don't like the pessimism behind the fandom is dying, because it's still here. It's still, there's still so much passion within it, but it's not everybody's only focus. You know, there's so many amazing animations out there, more and more every year. So it's understandable that, you know, we don't have huge conventions and huge attendance, but the conventions that are still here are going really strong. Everfree is celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. Everfree had our convention after, like, post-COVID convention last year, and it was incredibly successful. We were so pleased with how many people still showed up and how grateful they were to come back to it. You know, the pandemic could have just scared everyone away. They'd be like, 2 years gone? Okay, I'm done. But they came back, and they were so grateful to have that space again that they didn't have for almost 2 years. So there's definitely still so much passion in the fandom. It's just not as much of a fad as it was, if that makes sense. I could say more, but I'm gonna pass it.
Somebody was in TrollCon last week. No? Not done?
Anyone else go to TrodCon last week? We got one person, somebody.
Yeah, so, obviously the golden era of the fandom, 2012, 2014, that happens in every fandom, you know, like, it's going to be very hard to get to that level, probably impossible, but it doesn't mean that the fandom is dying. A lot of people say that the fandom is dead, the fandom is dying. COVID is going to be the last nail in the coffin of the fandom, things like that. I don't really think that, because people are still being active, very active. I see that. Also, we have G5, we have new content. So I was seeing memes everywhere about the movies, about the shorts, even the comics also. So, other people say, no, the fandom is dying because people are moving to other things. Well, this happens since the beginning, because some people just made funny stuff just for, because it was cool at the moment. So, but other people keep going and going and going, you know, like people moving to other fandoms and, oh, Mario Fund, okay, that's all. It's okay, it's not for everybody. I understand that some people may come back, I hope. But there are a lot of, we're going to see, like, little child say this in one of these videos. He said, now we're going to see who's loyal to the family. But that sounds like this is a very hard time right now. But actually, I don't think it's very hard, because people say, oh, the COVID killed all the conventions, everything. Actually, it was in TrotCon last week. It was amazing. Amazing. A lot of people, they made a challenge of $18,000. The hotel was completely booked. The backup hotel was completely booked. I had numbers also, like BABScon attendance in 2019 was around 1,500, and in 2022 was almost like 1,500, almost the same. So Everfree, 1,800 in 2019 and 1,600 in 2021. Things considering, actually I think it's good numbers. We didn't see too much of a drop, and actually the conventional coming back with a lot of strong. We don't have BronyCon, but some people were saying this, and also I think this is, BronyCon is no more, but people are going to other cons and maybe creating new cons. For example, I just noticed this week that there is a con in Arizona. It's called Bronies Exposition. I didn't know about it. And they're going to run this convention in October this year. So it's not very far. So it's not very far from here, and also the date is not very far. So, you know, like, it's very hard to see conventions of other fandoms. For example, Steven Universe, I think there is only one fandom, convention, sorry. The Bronies, they have a lot of conventions, I say. And also, I would say, like, there is new trends like TikTok, short videos. A lot of people are doing that instead of the long videos on YouTube. For example, we see the multi-drive meme back in action. A lot of people were sharing these memes. I think there is a lot of potential still going on. You know, like my point is that we know in a theater, we know in the moment of we don't have anything to do. There is a lot to do, and we have G5. So I would think the last thing I want to say is that as long as Hasbro Corporate is still releasing funny, keeps releasing stuff, the thing is going to go up, just going up. You know, like I would hate to say, for example, Netflix killing Central World people. I really like the series also. I would hate that happen to Mario Bronies, because that would be not good at all, you know. And even if Hasbro cancels everything, Netflix cancels everything, I think the convention will happen, because I think a lot of people in their lives will change with the fandom, with the convention. They get friends, and they save their lives. I've seen a lot of people that they get out from addiction and problems, and they just have new hope because of their choice. Okay, no.
Great.
That was an amazing answer. Thank you for that. And also thank you for those numbers. Like,
I'm not sure.
as you can see, they are for BABScon. They are, I can verify, certified, fresh stats. As you heard, all the top Brony conventions our attendance is as good as they've ever been, even after the pandemic. Especially after the pandemic, that's very important. What's the most important though is that the fans, keep coming back. They keep wanting to produce wonderful works of art. They keep wanting to show it off. Come to conventions and show it off there. As long as we have people coming to the conventions and producing wonderful things, the fandom will never die. I kind of think that the fandom, here's my thesis. Welcome to my TED Talk. You know how when we were all getting into Pony and it was like, oh, Lauren Faust created it, here's all the shows that she worked on, Craig McCracken, look at all these Cal Arts people, look at all these famous Cal Arts, they were all friends and now they're working on different things, Wonder Over Yonder, Dexter's Lab, and all that good stuff. I feel like, here's my thesis, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fandom is the next Cal Arts. So what I mean by that is all the bronies and all the people involved that in the show as well that made wonderful, beautiful fan things, they are going off and creating their own stuff. Great example has been Hotel. A lot of bronies working on it, right? Everybody, go Has Been Hotel. If you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube, but not for kids, not for kids. Don't watch it with your kids. We also have, I know that Daniel Ingram, the person who did the music for My Little Pony Friendship with Magic, is working on is doing music for a video game called Billy Busta, and I follow the developer making that game on TikTok. And what's cool about that game is that it is a musical game. So like the boss encounters are like timed to music, and the characters sing. And you can hear, they have like the soundtrack, parts of the soundtrack are released on Spotify, and he's doing the music for it. Gabriel Brown, Black Griffin, who's a brony that everyone knows, he's doing, I don't think he's doing, he might be in some of it, but I think he's in the basic, what's it called, the demo tracks for the songs. And that's just like one small project, but that has like 3 or 4 people involved in the fandom already in it. So in the future, in the next few years, you're gonna see names that you heard about. Oh, like what's Mando doing? Yeah, what?
He's Living Tombstone's out there recording his own music.
Yeah, Living Tombstone's doing his own stuff. So My Little Pony is the next like Cal Arts. Everyone's gonna know each other from the Brony fandom, and then all the next amazing things for kids, for adults, in animation, in music, in art is gonna come from this fandom here. So the fandom isn't dying, the fandom is evolving. I feel like I'm Mirabelle right now, like, it's not dying. So the fandom is evolving, but we still want to like cherish the memories and friendships that we built while we were here in Ponyland. Yeah. Yes, you had a question?
Yeah, one of my main concerns is some of the more controversial topics related to My Little Pony. I was wondering how to make sure to keep it wholesome as possible, especially for future generations.
I agree that that's kind of a problem, where the Brony fandom, not everything is like for kids. But that's kind of like, not everything in the world is also for kids. Like, I think that there is enough content both for children that they can like come in. But I think it is also a problem where now it has to be like, oh, the parent to like filter that, and that's like, nobody got time for that, right? You just want to trust that when something says My Little Pony, it's good for your kids. I think that creators who want to create things, like I think, create what you want, because that's where your passion is. And if you want to make things that are also like kid friendly, that is a big plus.
Can I jump in real quick? So just real quick on that, I think for those concerned parents in the audience, if you're looking at anything official that's coming from Hasbro, that's going to be kid-friendly every time. They're going to jealously protect their brand and keep it safe so they can continue to sell toys about it and make more shows about it. The fandom stuff, just leave safe search on, is what I will say. Because there are people, like any fandom, who will go in an adult direction with stuff, even if it is meant for kids originally. And so I would just use that caution. There is a lot of good fan stuff out there for kids, but yeah, I would definitely screen it if I were a parent.
Thank you for answering my question, and I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Great.
And one last thing. Someone mentioned TikTok. There's like TikTok sounds. People are using Pony TikTok sounds and they don't even realize it's from Pony. They're using Living Tombstone songs. They're using Odyssey, Eurobeat, Discord songs. They're doing Awkward Marina songs. Awkward Marina is also on TikTok. But like people, like the influence of Pony has already gone far beyond the fandom. So is the fandom dying? No, it has influenced literally the next fandom. It has influenced all of the younger generation who wants to make amazing things. 10 years ago, when Bronies became a thing, like you couldn't feasibly like animate your own shorts. And then we got some with like Snowdrop from the fandom. Watch Snowdrop, it's good, it's childhood friendly. It wasn't easy to make animation of that caliber, but now it is much, and obviously animation is really hard, but it's much easier to make animation and music and art of high caliber for your own project, for Pony project, and for the future. So like, it is like, the dividends are paying off. We're gonna go to the moon, baby. Right, thank you.
We love your enthusiasm. Sylvia.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That was a lot. We talked a lot about everything. I don't even know what the question is anymore.
Just, state of the fandom type
State of
stuff.
the fandom. I guess for me, the state of the fandom, it's not dead, that's for sure. It's never been dead. I think for me, the state of the fandom, the way I see it, is that it's just kind of been dormant for a little while. Because I know for a fact, especially with all of this COVID stuff that's been happening, like, yeah, a lot of people kept saying, oh man, the fandom is dead. But that's just not true, especially when the conventions came back. Because you're right, I know I found myself at BABScon, like, and I haven't necessarily been too deep into the fandom for a little bit, but I still found myself at BABScon, and if EQLA was still happening, I'd find myself at EQLA. Same with all the other conventions, if I could afford it. But no, I think what happened with the fandom too is that, for myself and maybe for a lot of us here, I think we all just kind of grew up in a way, For a lot of us, we got into the fandom when we were younger. I know when I first got into the fandom, I was like 20, maybe 21, So, and now, like, I'm almost 30, I got a mortgage, I got all these other things going on, freaking Hitch already paid off his mortgage, and the thing about it is that for a lot of us, yeah, I think it's just that we kind of grew up, we have other responsibilities. My Little Pony, unfortunately, isn't like the #1 thing on our minds anymore as much as it used to be. However, again, that's where the conventions come in, is that just because My Little Pony hasn't necessarily been too deep into our lives lately, the conventions remind us of that friendship, and that this is the opportunity to take, because I know no matter what, I go to BABScon every year. Every year, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, to be honest. So I think it's just that, like, maybe for a lot of us, we've all just kind of calmed down a little bit. We're not, we're just dormant at the moment, because of course we've all seen it that on YouTube and on plenty of other of these brony sites, we don't really necessarily see as much as we used to back in the day, and that's fine, But whenever we get the opportunity to, when we go for it. Just like with this new generation of My Little Pony, the 5th generation, when the movie came out, I honestly thought a lot of people were going to hate it. However, I was quite surprised to see that a lot of people actually did jump on it and were quite excited for it, quite enjoyed it as well. And I think that gave the fandom a little bit of a boost for them to be like, oh man, like, this is great, I'm excited to see what's going to pop out of this. And I think that's just it. That we're kind of just waiting for the next stuff to come at us hard for us to obsess about again, So at least that's my feeling towards it.
Awesome. Well,
Finally, something I can actually answer. So, in my opinion, for the fandom and all that, one thing I would definitely say first and foremost is that the pandemic has definitely put a damper on a lot of things, and especially for my group, the Railroad Bronies. It stopped a lot of things. It stopped our YouTube channel. It stopped us from going to conventions and setting up our train layouts. In fact, last year I was here and I was talking up here, and I said, yeah, we're going to go to BABScon. Well, life happened, and that ended up having to go the opposite way. We never got a chance to go. And it's been rough, but we're still here. You know, you might not hear from us a lot on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook, but we're there. You can always message us. And, you know, I mean, we're not going anywhere. We're still going to be here. Still going to be, you know, running trains and watching ponies and having good times. And, in fact, our group up in LA, we go to the LA Live Steamers every now and again. And once in the spring and once in the fall, if you can meet someone to get in, you can go to their spring meet and fall meet, and we set up train layouts over there. And you know, they also have rides that you can go on and do stuff. A lot of fun. But in terms of the fandom, yeah, definitely it's not going to go anywhere. It's still going to be here. And hopefully it'll be here for a long time to come. And I'm definitely waiting for something a little more from the new generation to really bring me into it. Because as someone who is a big Rainbow Dash fan, I want to see what direction they're going to really go with Zip, for sure. So I'm waiting on that. So
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we have about a little more than 10 minutes left. I was going to do a little age poll, but I think I'm going to skip that. So instead, we'll open up the audience. Does the audience have any questions for us? And then at the end, I'll save 5 minutes so that all of us can talk about, real quick, our current projects so everyone knows about them. If you've got something to promote, put it out there. It's your turn, to your time. So first, audience questions. Go ahead.
I actually have a few things to say about the comic. So if you're going to Comic-Con and you have number one game, definitely go to the IDW booth, which is giving out number one all day, every day.
For those who didn't hear that, free comics at the IDW booth. Free My Little Pony comics.
I'm so gonna go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Definitely go. And on Sunday, they're holding a signing at the IDW booth with Celeste Brockman and Amy Leverson at 10:30 to 11:30. So if you pick up a comic, you can go then and get it signed. And also the person who did the art for that cover up there, the Retail Incentive, has a booth here at Comic-Con. You should definitely check her out. It's Brianna Garcia at Arts Alley number 19A.
Great, thank you.
Dang, this guy's really good. I think Sarah Richards is here as well. Sarah Richards is the person that did the Fiend Ship is Magic covers, the one where the ponies look like sugar skulls.
Oh, yeah.
She's also here as well. So I see her every year. I go and I bug her every year to get her to sign stuff. Like,
Excellent.
What's his name?
Go ahead. I'll do something real quick and then hand it over to you. So I have seen, so when I ran my conventions, these current convention people are going to make fun of me for a convention that isn't here anymore. But no, there always were some G1 fans around, and they've been there for a long time. Like they're the real hardcore, and you see them at conventions. Like they come and they're there. Have I seen a lot of media or anything catering for that? I haven't, but I don't know about you guys. What were you going to say on this?
Oh yeah, so actually, because I wanted to get more into the lore, there is a little bit of lore in the other newer generations. For example, I didn't know who was Minty. I see Minty animation. Who's Minty? This is not before, I believe so. So I just go and went to watch the movie. Okay, it's different. But actually, I'm pretty hooked into looking what the history there's like this conception that, okay, it's partially true that a lot of bronies, Vega sisters, those people that watch they like the show, they like before, before, but there are some people that also like current generation, so they have a lot of things that they are valid, they are don't consider I don't consider that as to be like something that we should skip. Not.
Anyone else want to chime in on that? Or except, again, we don't have a ton of time, so I want to get some more questions. But if you have something you really want to say. Anybody? Okay, I just saw a lot of hands, but go ahead. Welcome aboard.
I don't remember the titles either, but I know I have them on my phone, that's for sure.
I really like, so from the movie specifically, I like the first one, gonna be my day, gonna be my day. But I feel the best song is, I know you were nodding along with me, the main melody song from the YouTube series is like top tier.
I would definitely have to say that Gotta Be My Day is also my favorite as well. I listen to that a lot more than most people would.
I do want to say I appreciated the multiple grunge references in the mob song. That was pretty epic.
I really like the Fit Right In. That one was my favorite. Fit Right In was awesome. Like, I didn't, the other ones I had, like, they were nice, they were good, don't get me wrong, I liked them, but I had to rehear them a few more times for me to actually go like, this is good. But Fit Right In got me into it like immediately. I didn't have to rehear it a second time or a third time. I was like, oh man, I'm buying this song immediately. And then I listened to it, but I can tell you for sure that whenever it comes up on my shuffle or something, I never skip it.
Great. I think we have time for one more question, then we do our last bit of promotion. Yep, 5 minutes left. Go ahead. Yep. I think it'd be a waste if they didn't bring them in at some point. They created so much lore, it'd be a shame not to use it.
I would sure hope so.
I have no idea. That's a
Maybe
good
also
question.
maybe right here.
Read the comics on it currently. All right, so last thing real quick. I'm going to talk to everyone up here and just have them put out, if you're working on a project you want to promote a little bit, or if you're like a convention organizer and you want to talk about your con real quick. But again, we have 5 minutes total, so let's make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it's like less than a minute for each of you, all right? Just for me, I'll go real quick. Our previous moderator couldn't be here because of a family emergency, but he's one of the organizers for SoCal Bronies, which is a meetup group on meetup.com, and we organize meetups every month. San Diego and LA are kind of together in that. But at least in San Diego, we definitely have a meetup every month, and sometimes they have stuff up in LA all the time as well. So check that out. Come say meet some new friends. Well, go ahead.
All right. So, figure as of right now, obviously, I'm not doing much with the trains at the moment. Right now, I'm actually thinking about going for streaming. So, if you can or if you want, you can look me up on Twitch at SteamTank_844 and give me a follow. I'm going to be playing a lot of good stuff.
I'm not really working on anything right now. I mostly tend to follow, so when it comes down to the San Diego Bronies, which is what I normally follow, not so much the SoCal Bronies, but for the San Diego Bronies, it's just mostly us going to the group meetups, and at least for the Tijuana Bronies, unfortunately, no matter how many times I try and unfortunately, it just doesn't happen as much as it used to, unfortunately.
If you want to come to a SoCal Brony meeting, right outside the doors after this panel. Yeah.
Please come to BABScon. We are still making our mark on the fandom. BABScon.com, BABSCON.com. It is family friendly, and we are looking forward to seeing you there April 7th through 9th, Easter weekend 2023, at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in San Francisco, California. Right by SFO, and there's a shuttle, so you can fly in and not even have to worry about Uber. You can just take the free shuttle.
So I will be doing content in the future, for sure. I graduated from my not only music project, so I will be free. And then, but I thought something, I will be my YouTube page. So right here, ChiptuneMist. That's my artistic name, I would say. Yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the future.
Great.
Okay, you are all cordially invited to our 10th birth anniversary at Everfree next month, August 26th to the 28th. We're going to have a lot of VIP guests. We have voice actors from G4 and G5. We have comic artists, and we have G5 content developers as well. It's going to be an amazing time. Kids under 12 get in free, but you have to have an adult with you. You can't just be an unattended kid. Please come get a flyer from me if you're interested, or even if you just want like a cute flyer to put on your fridge to be like, I have an invitation. Like, it's really cute. Yeah. And if you have any questions for me.
All right, well, that's all of our official program for the evening. Like I said, there's a meetup outside if you just want to chat, meet people. We are going to be doing that for as long as people want to hang out right outside. Thanks, everybody.
This is how a unicorn ends this panel.